including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Eviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you, Black.
You ready?
Come on! It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Look, fuck rap, I'm a street legend. Block love me with a deep reverence. I was birthed in a C-section. Helicopters and police presence. We got ops, so we keep weapons. We on y'all block while y'all eat breakfast. A lot of shots, we broke street records. Watch how you talk, I got reflexes. Watching your cheap necklace. Then we slide at the east exit. But every time we get to sub TMZ catching.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you all Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Happy Monday, and happy Monday indeed. It is. Wow. Yeah, you are, if you're on YouTube, looking at a mom of graduates. I can't even believe it. I told you guys there was so much. Thank you, Andy. That was happening over the weekend, starting on Friday, and you know because I wasn't here. Shout out to my family who came through. We just had a lot of family together over the weekend, celebrating our girls, of course. And yeah, they are officially done. They are officially off to college in just a couple of months. So it has been a great weekend for us. And I hope the same for you as well. So much going on in the entertainment news, of course, that we're going to bring to you. But first, Andy, how are you? How you feeling? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I'm all right. You know, it's Mondays, beginning of the week. Mm-hmm. Mom's B-Day is this coming weekend. So, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for her.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
She ain't trying to eat, so I don't know. I feel like I done got her every gift imaginable.
It's difficult. It's
challenging as she gets older. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm obviously going to spend some time with her, but I don't know. Because I asked her, I was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
She's like, she ain't really tripping. She's not working on that day, so.
Yep.
I offered to take her out to eat, and she just like, I don't want no food. You know what I'm saying? She wants something that, when she looks at, it'll remind her that, it's her birthday or whatnot. So I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll come up with something. It is very difficult to get things for people who either don't want anything or they have everything.
When they really want something, though.
Oh, okay. That part. Well, happy early birthday to your mom, Andy. Okay, let's go ahead and get to some news. Michael Rainey Jr., I do want to have a conversation about this at some point when I can get more information on it. But Michael Rainey Jr., you may know him. He was a little kid. I mean, we knew him because I covered the show Power for about 7 years, I guess. Michael Rainey Jr. was one of the stars, and he is now a young man, still on one of the Power Universe shows. But he was groped and allegedly sexually assaulted. I say allegedly because, again, there's it was blocked, but some things definitely happened during a live stream. It was crazy, like right on camera. This was from the gamer. His name is Tylil James. His younger sister she was doing the most. She was starstruck, and she was trying to, some girls think that the way to get in with these celebrities are to do things like that. Michael Rainey Jr. has since spoken up about it. It went viral, of course, if you could imagine, because, again, this was live on camera. I don't know if she realized it was happening right there, like she was on camera. I don't know. More to talk about. We're going to definitely have a conversation around this. When it comes to women, how are women treated when they are the ones to commit the act versus if the roles were reversed? And, he's mentioned that as well.
I'll tell you this. Ain't nobody believing the man first.
Well, I mean, the situation is different because it was on camera, right? So, I mean, that is a little bit different. I hear you. We continue to have that conversation, which is also an important one. But we'll talk about that. I'm gonna table it when I get more information. I know 50 Cent has talked about it now. We are gonna have that conversation for sure. But moving on, Tory Lanez's wife, she filed for divorce. They've only been married for a year, but I'll tell you what. Being married to someone who is in prison, he's getting ready to do 10 years. That's tough. That's hard. That's hard to do. So, but I also have outside of the crime, I have a deep love for Black men who have been, who are incarcerated. I have a deep love. My brother was incarcerated for many years, so I have a certain type of compassion for that, and their needs, and down to phone calls and being social and all of those things. It's difficult.
Shout out to Papoose.
Shout out to Papoose who held his woman down.
Come
How
on.
long was she in there?
It felt like it was 10 years.
I think it was like 7.
Something like that.
7 years or something like that. He held her down. We're talking about Remy Ma, rapper and actress, but he held her down for 7, I believe, or more years.
I'm just saying, I know it's difficult, right? I know it's difficult, but the fact that Papoose, a man, right, you would think, my wife is in jail or whatnot, I'm about to go ahead and do my thing. Yeah. He did it. And that doesn't get praised enough.
I agree with you.
But it also sucks because, look at them now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but in other news, check this out. Howard University, if you haven't heard yet, they've revoked Sean Diddy Combs' honorary doctorate degree. Rightfully so. They've also agreed to cut all financial ties, which I respect that, because if you can't take back your honorary degree and say we're still going to keep your money or your pledge to, he has given a lot of money to HBCUs, but also he's made a pledge just last year about $1 million pledge.
Me and my girl had a debate about that.
Okay.
Because she was basically saying that, if she was the university, she would still keep the money regardless, right? I understand where the money came from. You know what I'm saying? It might be, all good money ain't good money, but it's still a blessing. Somebody could utilize this money. Yeah. And I was like, I get it. It depends.
It's funny because I've had that conversation when looking at television shows. I'm like, keep the money. They say, drug money and stuff. I'm like, keep the money.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, in a situation like this, where you know exactly who it came from, you saw with your own eyes what the situation was, it's a little bit different. And although you can argue, keep the money because it'll do some good. It's still, when you want to cut all ties from someone like that, I understand it.
It brings you back to when 6ix9ine, I don't know if you remember that, he had gave like a large lump sum money. He wanted to give a large lump sum of money to a particular nonprofit, right? And I guess there was like one nonprofit that was just like, we don't want your money or whatnot just because of what you represent, right? But there was another nonprofit that was like, I'll take the money. You know what I mean? Like, this will help our cause. This will help our kids. This will help our youth. Like, so what if, 6ix9ine is this, evil individual, whatever the case may be. Like, we will still take the money. And it just had me thinking, is all good money? Is all money good money, bad money?
Maybe that could be our question of the day. That definitely makes you think about it. I'll try to figure out how to make that the question of the day. A shout out to you guys who are showing up in our YouTube. It does make me wonder, though. He did this pledge in 2023. Did he know something was on the horizon.
I've been told that.
We've had this conversation before because I just saw something else. And here's what's so bad about it. We tend to think negatively when we know that this has now been a trend, we tend to not give you the benefit of the doubt. Jay-Z, his Rock Nation, they plan to sponsor $300 million towards education of Philadelphia students. And although they do a lot for community and all of the things, it still makes you think, is something coming down the pipe for
What are you saying?
I don't know. I'm just saying there's a trend. Kevin Hart did it. When something was about to be released of Kevin Hart, and it could be coincidental, but he wound up giving money, a large amount of money to, I don't know if it was a school. I'd have to look up where he gave that money, but he did.
Chickens are coming home to roost. And it's just funny that you brought that up because I swear my boy keeps on just saying this. Watch out. J and B. And I'm like, bro, I can't even. You know, I want to push back on that, but
yeah,
can't put nothing past anybody.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but I guess we'll just wait and see. Kendrick Lamar, shout out to Kendrick Lamar, who's got the hottest song in LA, actually of the country right now, all over the country. He surprised Compton College with a commencement speech. You just showed up and surprised that is the coolest thing in the world. You already are from Compton and you got the hottest song. You got everybody talking. And then you show up at their school and you give the commencement speech. And it was a really good one, by the way. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar for that. And shout out to all of the graduates of 2024 because it wasn't easy. Specifically, 2024 wasn't easy because everyone who graduated college, everyone who graduated high school, and sure, middle school and everything, but it wasn't as tough as high school and college because they all started off everybody started off in the pandemic. But those specific students had to do their entire first year distance, and then they had to learn online, and then when they went back on campus, everybody had to use masks, and it was just difficult for class of 2024.
You got a testimony.
I do.
Your daughters.
My daughters, class of 2024. They did that exactly what I just said. They started out. They ended abruptly their middle school last year in middle school. They were told, "Oh, you're going to come back in a couple of weeks." Never came back to middle school. They graduated online, and then they started their freshman year in their rooms. And then over the summertime, they didn't talk to any friends. They lost friends. I mean, this isn't just their story alone. This happened to a lot of those high school kids. And so to beat all those odds and then to graduate with honors and things like that is just remarkable. So definitely thank you. Definitely shout out to them. Okay, let's get into the Raw Report, Andy.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Because I want to talk about this, and I can't wait to get our contributor on the line. I specifically wanted her because she is a brilliant mind, and I wanted to hear the input and insight from someone who could speak to this. But Stephen A. Smith, you know, my love-hate relationship with Stephen A. Smith and, you know, those like him. He's got something to say about Will Smith. As you know, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are killing it at the box office. Rightfully so. If you have not seen Bad Boys Ride or Die yet, it is a fantastic movie. It has earned $104.6 million at the global box office, which is incredible. Stephen A. Smith has something to say about it, though. Andy?
I was just going to say, shout out to Will Smith for pulling up to the hood.
He pulled up to the hood. He pulled up to, he was
the Magic Johnson Theaters, ladies and gentlemen.
He did that.
Not Cinemark.
Yeah. He also just was at the theater by my house. He went over to, he was in the Valley. He was in Topanga. He went to Topanga AMC.
It was a surprise, too?
Yeah, he did it as a surprise. Yeah, so Will Smith is out here in these streets. So shout out to him. We're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith and what he has to say, whether we agree with it or don't. Does he have a point? And I really want to talk about that. We're also talking about Eboni K. Williams, who says... Eboni K is another one. She says that she is masculine and has to walk in her masculinity because she has to. She says specifically Black women they've been made to walk in their masculinity, and we'll hear her reasons for why. And again, does she have a point? We're going to break it all down on the other side. right now, though. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Robin Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, I am so disturbed by this piece of news that I just opened up to see. I do have a poll for you guys going on before I continue. Is all money good money? This is Andy's question. Would you still use it? Like, listen, I'm gonna still use this dirty money because it can be put to good use, right? Or does money have energy? So would you stay away from dirty money because all money has energy and you don't want any parts of it? I'm very, very curious about what you all think right now. Looks like 100% of you are saying, stay away from it. It's dirty money and it has energy, so we don't want no parts of that. Andy?
So that means if you find $50 on the floor.
Well, that's different. You don't know where that money came from. But if you knew that the money was dirty, you knew, right? Yes.
That's the kicker. Okay.
Yeah. Like dirty money in the sense of, right, it's criminal money or something attached to someone who has done something, crime worthy. Before we get our contributor on the line, Krishan Rock has been arrested on felony fugitive warrant fugitive warrant after attending Blueface's court hearing. So the girl is trying to go. This makes me so upset. I'm sorry. She walks her baby in the courthouse, trying to go support her baby daddy, Blueface. And she has a felony warrant and she's arrested on the spot. And they take her baby away. Officers take her baby. They don't, as of right now, we don't know as the public where her baby is. But the type of irresponsible parenting this is. I just have so much to say about it. I'm sure we'll talk about this at another point. But I do want to move on and get to our contributor, Whitley Yates, who is on the line with us. Hello to you, Whitley.
Hello,
Hi.
Report. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. You already know. You are. It's always exciting to talk to you, especially when I really want to get into some stuff because I like the insight that you always come with. So I know that you just watched Bad Boy #1. How did you like it? Bad Boys.
I thought it was a phenomenal movie.
Very good.
I'm actually still sitting in the movie theater right now.
Oh.
But I thought it was phenomenal.
Wow.
I mean, here's the thing. I usually watch movies for the action, but I think this one touched on a lot of different elements within the Bad Boy franchise that they hadn't touched on before. Grief, trauma, panic attacks, mental health, issues with children that you didn't know you had, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Just all types of different issues came on the screen, and the cinematography was fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was top notch. It was top notch.
There was this part where it felt like you were in a first-person shooter game. So
yeah,
I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but I believe everybody should go see it. It was a really great movie.
It really was.
And
I
it was
agree
funny.
with you. It was funny. It was entertaining. It kept me awake the whole time because I went to a nighttime movie. But it was their energy and their the compatibility between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith is just top tier. I've always said that, but I still stand on it because I think that just over the years it continues to they continue to do a great job, and it exudes off the screen. Andy, you saw it?
I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
I don't want to know too much about it.
Sure.
But the little bit that I did hear was that Will Smith pretty much kind of carried the movie. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say that. I would say, I mean, Will Smith is he's the movie star, though. Think about that. Will Smith is a movie star. Martin Lawrence is not a movie star.
What?
So, no, Martin Lawrence is, I mean, not the same way that Will Smith is.
Okay.
Martin Lawrence has been in a lot of movies, but Martin Lawrence is not a movie star. Hear what I'm saying right there. Will Smith is a movie star. He's a global movie star. Martin Lawrence has been in some great films. He's been in a lot of great movies. So with that being said, if you want to say that even in comparison to, has Will Smith always carried Bad Boys? If your answer is yes, maybe you would think the same about this one. If your answer is no, and it's always been equal, then you would probably think the same about this one.
Well, I'm asking, I guess, in regards to Martin Lawrence's, alleged health issues, because I was, reading reports that, Will Smith was kind of carrying the acting.
Yeah, I would just encourage you to see it for yourself. I think Martin did a fantastic job, and I walked away thinking, I mean, there were times where I'm just like, I wonder if, but there were other times where I'm like, this is Martin. You know what I mean? Before we move on and continue to talk about it, I do want to bring up what Stephen A. Smith has said about this entire thing. So, he has not seen it yet. We know that Stephen A. Smith is good friends of Chris Rock. And if you remember, Will Smith slapped the heck out of Chris Rock in 2022. And there are still, I guess, maybe still some people who have problems with it. But according to the global box office, not that many because the movie is doing very well. Let's take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith has to say about it. And Whitley, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. Let's take a listen.
Chris Rock will never get over that. Ever. Will Smith apologized. I'm not saying he even has to apologize. I'm saying that while I watch him and Martin Lawrence promoting this movie, and I'm quite sure the reason he hasn't addressed it is because the studios don't want him to, and there's an obligation that you have with them, all fair. I get it. But somewhere along the way, he has to sit down and talk to the black community. You can see all the white people around Will Smith all you want to. Black folks have loved and revered this man for decades. He was the closest thing to perfection, as his friend Charlie Mack once told me.
We have a couple minutes real quick. Whitley, he did now this is a short clip from an entire sort of rant that he went on, right? A 5-minute or so rant that he went on where he did acknowledge that Will Smith, he did apologize to Chris Rock at one point. He also acknowledged that he did address this on camera. He did it a couple of times. He wants Will Smith to answer to somebody. Specifically, he wants them to answer to black people. Do you agree with Stephen A. Smith that Will Smith owes us anything?
I feel like I can smell Stephen A. Smith's hot breath from where I'm sitting right now. I think, and he's always slapping his gums, like always. And nobody slapped you, Stephen. You're not slapped. So I don't know why Stephen A. Smith continues to get in the business of people that has nothing to do with him. This has absolutely nothing to do with him. For Will Smith to apologize to Chris Rock, whether Chris Rock accepted it or not, that has absolutely nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith. So why you want him to make some grand gesture to the black community at large when clearly we're going out, clearly we're seeing this movie, clearly we're retweeting and we're celebrating the fact that he wasn't shamed into oblivion. Stephen A. Smith needs to take a sit back. He needs to go ahead and focus on things that are more his speed, like sports.
Very well said. He believes that he was flippant about the way he said, listen, y'all see him around white people all you want. He has a vendetta against Will Smith only because of his loyalty to Chris Rock. Now, I'm a person who rides for my friends. I get it, but I'm also a person who sees logic in a thing, and I can be balanced, very well balanced in a thing. And my problem with Stephen A. Smith is the fact that he brought this up out of what seemed to be nowhere. Nobody was talking about it. Whether Will Smith's publicists are telling, reporters and people not to talk about it or not, no one is bringing it up. We're going to continue this conversation on the other side. We have a phone call waiting for us. I can't wait to continue this conversation. Right now, though, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Rim. Right now, I'm hanging out with Robin on The Raw Report. That's right.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Hunter Biden's federal firearms case is in the hands of a Delaware jury. The judge instructed them to start deliberating after the prosecution and defense wrapped up closing arguments today. The president's son is accused of illegally buying and possessing a gun while being addicted to drugs in 2018. He faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted. This marks the first time in U.S. history the child of a sitting president has gone on trial. Former President Donald Trump will soon take part in a virtual pre-sentencing interview in his hush money case in New York. That's according to the Trump campaign. The interview is being conducted by a probation officer to put together a report that recommends the appropriate punishment for Judge Juan Merchan to impose when the former president is sentenced on July 11th. Former President Trump was convicted of falsifying records before the 2016 election to hide payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
There's an accident in the second to left lane on the 405 southbound at Western. There's nobody hurt, but traffic is very slow. And in Monterey Park, a crash on the 10 eastbound at Garfield. That's a couple of vehicles. They're blocking the left lane. Whittier on the 605 southbound at Beverly Boulevard. There's a breakdown off to the right-hand shoulder. In all of these situations, traffic is very slow.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Dan Hurley will not be the Lakers' next head coach. Monday morning, Hurley called Lakers owner Jeannie Buss and GM Rob Pelinka to inform them he does not want the job. Hurley is staying at the University of Connecticut, leaving the Lakers franchise with some very serious concerns and some major perception issues. Buss and Pelinka offered Hurley a 6-year deal worth $70 million. The contract would have made Hurley the highest paid coach in the NBA, but Hurley preferred to stay at UConn and contend for a third straight national championship. Hurley also must have seen some challenges within the Lakers organization that he did not want to deal with. Lakers Nation may need to face the reality that the mystique of this once proud franchise has faded. How do you process somebody turning down $70 million for a chance to coach the Los Angeles Lakers? Let that marinate. No debate, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Eviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@kbla1580.com. That's advertising@kbla1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you black.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% plus finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Did you know that streaming music, ebooks, audiobooks, movies, and more is available for free from the Los Angeles Public Library? With your library card, you can access the latest music and movies, audiobooks and ebooks, graphic novels, comic books, magazines, and more. If you don't have a library card and live in the city of Los Angeles, you can get a digital card online for free. Check it out at lapl.org/emedia. That's lapl.org/emedia.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday to Faith Evans. Oh, I love her so much. And this right here is the jam. I told you, you always win, Andy. You always win, you know? He don't miss. If you're listening in just now, coming into our conversation, well, welcome in. We're talking about Stephen A. Smith and the fact that he had the audacity to call out Will Smith when everybody else forgot about the slap. Well, I don't know if we forgot about it, but everyone else seems to have forgiven, I'll say, the slap. And it doesn't look like he is. But you know what? Maybe it is about clickbait. Maybe it is just him saying, you know what? I'll be the bad guy. You guys, you know, if a person has a number one show or people are very popular, they have business sense, and they have different platforms, YouTube, you know, network shows and all of those things. It's important that you do things or say things that are important enough to gain views. Some will call it sound bites. Others call it, just great shows, gossip. I mean, we go about these things in different ways. For Stephen A. Smith, oftentimes he will find himself in the headlines, and sometimes he doesn't mind. He's not new to being a bad guy. Sometimes it could be just him saying, you know what, let me go ahead and throw this out there so I can get more clicks, I can get more clickbait, and it is about money. That's a theory that Andy wholeheartedly believes in. It could be. We are on the line with Whitley Yates. We're having this conversation, but we do have a call from Fahima. Let's go ahead and get to Fahima really, really quickly. Hello to you, Fahima.
Yes, greetings, Robin Rasta, and to your guest commentator. I wanted to speak on the Stephen Smith case, but just very briefly, as a Howard alumni, I wanted to share.
Fahima, I'm sorry, your phone was going out. I think try it one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, got you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to speak on the Stephen A. Smith situation, but very briefly first, the Howard University situation. As someone with degrees from Howard University, I wanted to share that Howard was the only school that didn't give back the Cosby money. And in fact, they have a Cosby Fellowship. Now, in terms of Stephen A. Smith, I agree wholeheartedly with your guest contributor. In fact, I think Stephen A. Smith is using this to deflect the fire he recently had on himself, where he put his foot in his mouth and said that black people identify with Trump because of criminality, and also recently coming under fire about women's sports when he but hardly covered women's sports, and that sister called him to task. So he's just trying to deflect attention because Will Smith, as already been said, he apologized. He's been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. And why didn't he say something when he did Emancipation? He did a movie prior to this.
This is true. Very, very true. Very, very true. I think that Stephen A. Smith really wanted Bad Boys Ride or Die. I believe he wanted this to be a travesty. He even mentioned the fact that the pre-sales were dwindling. He hoped for that, in my opinion, or at least this is what he said. And maybe, again, that could be a soundbite. But I appreciate your comment, Fahima, and definitely there could be a lot of people who agree with you there. So definitely appreciate you on that. Whitley Yates, let's get you back on in this conversation. Was that a deep breath I heard?
It's interesting because I do believe that Stephen A. Smith is controversial for clout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That he wins when he's contrarian for clickbait. Like this is a part.
Uh-oh. I think we'll get Whitley back on the line. I think she'll call right back. She was making such a great point, similar to what we were just talking about. Maybe that is in fact what it is. I do believe there is some truth in what Stephen A. Smith is saying in terms of him being a friend of Chris Rock. But if Chris Rock himself, Chris Rock already got his off. Remember, he did Netflix. He did his Netflix special and said whatever it is that he had to say. So for him to bring that up now, and to Fahima's point, Will Smith already came out with the movie Emancipation. It didn't do extremely well, but he already had an opportunity to speak on this. He didn't use that opportunity. He's using this one. But Whitley Yates, we got you back on the line. Finish making your point, please, because it was a good one.
I was just going to say the overarching theme here is that your past is a lesson and not a life sentence, meaning that Will Smith and what he's done is something that he did in the past. He's apologized for it, and he's moved on. Chris Rock has moved on, and we can move on as a black community. He doesn't owe us anything, and I think the movie is fantastic and should be supported by black people.
Mm-hmm. To this day, out of all the media that we listen to and that we receive, we consume on a daily basis, I've not heard anybody bring up the slap. This is 2 years later, right? Over 2 years later that this has happened. Will Smith has addressed it. We don't even have to play the video. We were going to play the little clip, but we all remember it. Even Stephen A. Smith addressed it. What more do y'all want him to do? What do you want Will Smith to do? He should go on it and live his life, because that one thing, as you just said, Whitley, that doesn't define him. That's just a lesson. We know what defines Will. We know that black excellence is what defines him. We know that his work ethic and all the other things that he's done to prove why he is Will Smith that we love and we revere, according to Stephen A. Smith. why he is this, because he's all these other things that he has been for so many years defines who he is, not that one incident. So I've not heard anybody else talk about it, just Stephen A. Smith. And that in and of itself, to me, proves the point that it's just clickbait. It was only for click views. Andy?
I think we need to look at this now critically, right?
Okay.
Because as we're having this discussion, right,
Mhm.
I don't believe in any form of violence, period.
Yeah.
Man on man, woman on woman, woman on man, man on woman, right? I just find it interesting that we are giving a lot of grace to Will Smith.
Mhm.
He assaulted a man
Mhm.
in front of the world.
Yeah.
But it just easily brushed away. Now, I'm not trying to compare it. I don't even want to bring it up. You know what I'm trying to compare this to.
Mm.
And we have some examples of individuals. CB, and we already know the other individual. I don't even want to ask what's the difference, because there is a difference when you think about the parties involved.
For sure.
But it's still violence.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah. I mean, I hear the.
I gotta push back.
Okay, Whitley, I'm gonna let you
Andy,
go. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll
cancel
respond.
Solange when she was kicking and punching Jay-Z in the elevator?
You know what?
I wasn't hearing anybody trying to cancel her.
You know what?
Nobody was trying to cancel Solange, and everybody's trying to cancel Will Smith.
You proving my point, though,
years.
Whitley.
Get over it.
Thank you for that reminder, though.
The only reason why the Will Smith slap was a big deal, in my opinion, is because it was in front of a group of wahites. That's the only reason why people cared about it. Because if it would have been at some Cracker Jack's comedy club or at somebody's cookout, nobody would have cared. And that's fact.
I think a big part
if
of
we
it.
would have just saw it on World Star or Shade Room, it would have been like, oh, what happened? It wouldn't have even made the reverberations. But because it was in front of wahites, it had to be a bigger deal. Y'all not about to
That's a
crucify
fact.
Will Smith because he made a mistake, and nobody said nothing when Solange was knocking Jay-Z upside her head and kicking her heels off in that elevator. So it's okay for women to beat on men. It's okay for Krishan Rock to go upside Blueface head 50 million times on social media. It's okay to watch them girls fight on Zeus.
I feel like you got to prove my point, though, like, because I'm with you on that. I'm just.
No, I'm saying, where was your outrage then?
I agree with you. Where was the outrage? I'm with you.
Okay, y'all seem to be making the same point. This is what I have to say in regards to the Will Smith thing, because that's the biggest focus, and I agree with you guys as far as the other examples are concerned. But Will Smith had. The reason why there's so much grace for him is because he had so many years of proving who he actually was. So many years of proof. And then remember all these things to support that. His book underscored the entire thing, his entire thing. So many conversations started surrounding that slap because he had just came out with his memoir. We read it. We heard about it. And anybody who did read it understood that he suppressed so much his entire life. He laughed things off. He kept taking it. He kept taking it. And on top of that, it's what he has given to the world, so to speak, right? Not just in entertainment, but we know Will Smith also to be an inspirational kind of guy, his motivational speeches and things like that. He has given so much to the world. So I think in return, people were willing to say, you know what, we love him so much. And not that he got off as easily. I will say that this was 2 years ago. He shouldn't still be living under that, that I guess, I don't know what you would call it, but the lens, that scope that everybody was looking at him through closer to that event. And he took his own time off and he did suffer a little bit. Remember, Emancipation, for multiple reasons, didn't do well, but I think that he did sort of suffer some. He went through the whole family thing, and I think it's just now over with. I think it's just over with. And so again, I believe it's sort of a give and exchange. Will gave a lot, and in exchange for that, he has been given grace. That's just my opinion on the matter. Let's go ahead and jump to this phone call. We got to make it quick. JW from South Central Los Angeles. Hey, JW.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
Yeah, I
good.
just chimed in, and I definitely have to make a comment on this Stephen A. whatever his name is. I heard his name several times. a lot of controversial things there. I believe that he has a hidden agenda. I believe he's a sellout. And he's just not speaking somebody else's talking points, and he's being financed by whatever hidden agenda they have going on, because there's too many things. It's not a coincidence. And Will Smith does have a track record and a history that's phenomenal, and we know his character and all of the above, how he gets down, and all the positive things he has done. And he has human nature traits like every human being, and he has flaws like anybody else. We're all dysfunctional, and he's entitled to have a human experience and make a mistake on a large scale if it was televised nationwide or worldwide, because it was a Grammy. So it's because of the venue, it got the attention, blah, 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 et cetera. You get the point. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Thank you so very much. Definitely get the point, and I agree with JW right there. And he was sort of seemed to be piggybacking off of what Whitley was saying, just because of the stage that it was on. I think that it was a little bit more, we put a little bit more on it than we would normally do, just because it was the Oscars. I agree with this here. Thomas Outlaw said, at the end of the day, he says the issue is between Will and Chris. That's it. Stephen A. Smith and the rest of us are just eating popcorn and watching. Come on now, Thomas Outlaw. That's a word right there. And I tend to agree with that. At this point, Will Smith does not owe us anything. I think it was gracious for him to take to the camera and answer some questions on camera. And if you want to see that, you could go on YouTube and type it out. You'll see Will Smith addresses Chris Rock. You could pull it up yourself. He doesn't owe us much more than that. Whitley, this conversation is good, but I do want to get into the Eboni K. Williams. Can you stay on the line and we can get to that on the other side? You got a few more minutes for us?
I got a few more minutes for you.
Okay. All right. On the other side, you're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's your girl Takara Williams here with Robin Ayers on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. If you ain't here, baby, here we go.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
What does it take to take on Alzheimer's? Awareness that nearly 2/3 of those diagnosed are women, including Black women. Dedication to lowering your risk by eating healthy and monitoring blood pressure. And confidence to talk to your healthcare provider about screening and early detection. You have what it takes to take on Alzheimer's. Learn about signs and screening at takeonalz.com. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This is DIR Silica, spot title, in California, 32nd English Radio, ISKI code DSIC 0430, April 30th, 2024.
In California, the use of man-made stone is causing workers to get silicosis. Silicosis is a fatal disease caused by breathing in silica dust from cutting, polishing, or grinding man-made stone. To prevent silicosis, employers must provide their workers proper equipment, including water systems and NIOSH-approved respirators. Stop dusty and deadly practices. Learn more at worksafewithsilica.org. This is a message from Cal OSHA.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Get ready to play. Join the LA84 Foundation Saturday, June 29th for a free Playday block party at 2141 West Adams Boulevard with sports, games, and fun for all ages. With live music, amazing local food, and the spirit of LA's 1984 Summer Olympics celebrating 40 years of impact of the LA84 Foundation. June 29th at LA84's campus in West Adams from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Register at la84.org. See you at Playday.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we have Whitley Yates on the line with us. Whitley, before I let you go, because I'm actually not going to even get really into this conversation about Eboni K. Williams, I'd rather know your opinion about dirty money. And dirty money in the sense of, we know that Howard University has recently revoked the honorary degree, the doctorate degree that they gave to Sean Diddy Combs, as well as they cut all the ties from him financially. Some people would argue, you know what, that money, they should probably keep it because it'll still do some good for the school, for the students, and for the future. Others say, no, energy or money has energy, and we don't want no bad energy. We don't want to have anything to do with it. How do you feel about that? Is all money good money, in your opinion?
No, I would say all money's not good money, but that's when you're working for it yourself. Right? That's when you have to be encumbered with these people, and how they treat you or disrespect you, et cetera, is how you're getting your money. This is a nonprofit. This is a school and educational institution that is currently underfunded, because all HBCUs in this country are underfunded. And so I think in the grand scheme of things, and if I'm going to keep it a buck, I don't think they should have given the money back. I actually think that they should have used some of that money to cultivate a program focused on domestic violence at Howard and the students who have gone through it at Howard. And I also think America is filled with dirty money. There is not a dollar that we spend in this nation that was not either forged off the backs of Black people or has gone through the hands of someone that has either colonized, raped, killed, and destroyed to get it. So it's all dirty at the end of the day. And if we are picking and choosing what spends, then I don't think any of us would be out spending any kind of money, because we all know the history not only of this nation, but where the wealth of America came from.
Wow. Well, I wonder if some of those "I would still use the dirty money" votes are going to go up now that Whitley put it that way. Andy's back here clapping for you. I think you made a wonderful point. If you want to pick and choose, then, I mean, no one dirty money is better than the other, right? And we know that all money spends the same way. So some people just morally do not want to be involved. You know, I was telling Andy, I see this on movies, and sometimes, you know, when the parents, they're like, get that dirty money out of here, when the kid comes home with drug money and they're trying to help pay bills, and they're like, I don't want any of your money. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? It's going to spend the same. It's going to spend the same. So to that point, I mean, I definitely understand it. Andy?
You know, you done justified why drug dealers sell drugs.
Because it's all dirty.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's all dirty, right? But at the same time, like, you know, if you got a bill to pay, especially if you're in survival mode. Look, I'm not activating it. I'm just saying this is the mentality of certain drug dealers.
I understand. Whitley, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you so much. It's always great. Can you let everybody know where they can find you online?
Absolutely. You can find me at Whitley J. Yates on Twitter and Instagram. That is Whitley J. Yates on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, and also congratulations to you. I know that you'll be you have a huge keynote speech coming up, right, for Juneteenth. Is that something that you want to talk about?
I do. I have a huge keynote speech coming up in Indiana. It is with Indiana Wesleyan University and the National Black MBA Society. It is coming up this Thursday. I will be keynoting their Juneteenth gala. So I'm so excited. I'm going to speak on perseverance and resilience.
That's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. I mean, I'm not surprised at all, because you are that girl, that woman, and I know you are going to do a fantastic job. So thank you so much for joining us, and I do look forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Yeah, well, we didn't have time to get into Eboni K, but I will tell you guys this. Right now, let me just go ahead and finish this poll. Of you all, 64% of you say that money is energy and you don't want to use dirty money. All right, I hear that. 36% say, listen, it spends the same way. I'm going to go ahead and use that dirty money. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and play the clip. This is what we're going to decide to do this entire conversation tomorrow with Eboni K. Williams, just because it is really a good conversation. I think it's a necessary conversation, and it's not the first time. It's just a different take on this entire topic. So let's go ahead and take a listen to Eboni.
We have a lot of young ladies out here that are men in skirts. I look as feminine as possible because I am trying to overcompensate. I'll own it. I'll be vulnerable. I am trying to visually overcompensate for what I know is a default masculine posture that I walk through the world with every day. Of course I do. You see my taxes. No, I mean, but for real, you know, I got a payroll, you know, and so when you are leading in this way, when you are providing not just for yourself, but for those around you, your whole community, how are you not masculine in your energy, right?
Yeah.
But to Melissa's point, most of the women I know, especially the Black women, we would love if we didn't have to. Woo. What people don't realize. What'd you say?
I want to be soft and pink.
Correct. Yeah. What most people don't realize is that most masculine women are masculine by mandate, not by choice.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're masculine because we have been made to be. Yeah. We're masculine because if I don't go qualify for this mortgage, if I don't put these kids in the best schools, if I don't really make sure that my neighborhood is safe for me and my children to walk down, it won't be safe.
As you can see, that's why this conversation is going to be a great one tomorrow. It's going to be a great one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that and getting the opinion and the different sides. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about women who feel like they have to overcompensate in their femininity because they have to walk in masculine energy? Not only that, do you feel like you've been made to walk in your masculinity because that is the way of society? Or do women say, I choose to walk this route? I choose to be a boss and work hard and make a lot of money and all those great things. We're going to break that all down tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I want to thank you guys so much for joining on the show today. Y'all be holding it down. That's just how y'all get down with the Raw Report. The Raw Squad is certainly in the building on our YouTube. Make sure that you're following me at Robin Ayers. Make sure you're following the station at KBLA 1580. And make sure that you are right back here tomorrow because we're about to bring it again. But guess who is also about to bring it? Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. He's about to bring a fire show because that's how he gets down every single night. I appreciate you all. And Whitley J. Yates, I appreciate you for joining me today. My name is Robin Ayers, your host. And remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A recent study is revealing stark racial disparities in Chicago traffic stops. African American drivers are disproportionately stopped by police instead of receiving tickets from traffic cameras. In areas with equal proportions of white and black drivers, white drivers have nearly a 50% chance of receiving a camera ticket, but less than 20% chance of being stopped by police. Conversely, in similar areas with a majority of African American drivers, there's a 54% chance of receiving a camera ticket, while black drivers make up around 70% of police stops. Vice President Kamala Harris was heckled over the weekend while speaking at the Michigan Democratic Party dinner. She began speaking about hostages being rescued in Gaza